Alright,
we
boy.
added several new features to the engine
Real
to support
dropping in
foliage
new shit.
rendering,
Let's check it
and the
out.
Fortnite team used those features to ship Battle Royale
Shit.
Chapter 4.
Don't look
At
too
the same
bad,
time,
though.
Jacob over there and the team at Quixel were experimenting with what's possible for photoreal foliage environments, as well as testing out the latest functionality that we've been building
Boy,
in
look
Unreal
at
Engine.
this shit.
So, Jacob's here with us today in
We
the
approaching
Unreal Engine.
reality.
Let's explore the environment. And what better way to do that than off-roading? And what better way to off-road than in a Rivian R1T?
Yeah.
Now, Rivian uses Unreal to power their instrument cluster, including
they do?
3D
Did not
visualization
know
of their
that.
vehicles. So we worked with them to bring the R1T to life.
Boy, look at this
Experience.
shit.
Let's head on out, Jacob.
Boy, look at this shit.
All right. So, we're building tools for interactive and dynamic worlds.
Boy, look
So
at
here we
this
have
shit.
chaos physics simulating rocks that tumble as we drive over them.
You for real?
Trees bend out of the way. And we also added some real-time fluid simulation.
Oh shit, unreal. Oh shit,
We worked with the team at Rivian
unreal.
to set up Unreal's chaos vehicle model to simulate the suspension of the truck and how the electric motors drive each individual wheel.
What?
CAD also simulates how the tires compress and deform,
No.
and MetaSounds enabled the team to precisely resynthesize the sounds of the electric motors and mix them with the ambisonics of the jungle.
Boy, look at this shit, man.
So Rivian provided us with a highly detailed model of the truck, about 71 million polygons that were able
I
to
love
render
some
in
of
real
these
time,
polys, huh?
thanks to Nanite.
Y'all saw that with
Now the
it.
Rivian not only looks incredibly realistic because
I
of
don't
the
understand,
Nanite,
but I'm
but
impressed.
also its materials. And today, we're introducing Substrate, our new material framework.
I can't clap or cheer for shit I don't understand.
And to better demonstrate it, let's swap the paint out for Opal. Now, of course, you can't order a Rivian with Opal body panels, but Opal was the internal code name for this project, and also a really great demonstration of Substrate's capabilities. The base layer models the iridescence, refraction, and reflections that occur inside of an Opal. And on top of that is a layer representing the polished surface
That's
and how
crazy.
light is absorbed as it travels through that clear layer of varying depths. And now we can add back on the dust and dirt layers. And notice how the reflection changes when interacting with the dust layer, and that there are no artifacts.
Only
along the
thing I'm
transition
noticing is
from
that
dirt
it
to
looks
dust
very
to
fucking
Opal.
convincing.
So Substrate is more
That shit
expressive,
is
enabling
real.
artists to create materials like this with different shading models and compose and layer those materials as they
Oh,
see
we
fit.
in there.
All right, let's head on out, Jacob.
On my way.
We in there.
In terms of performance, Substrate materials that are similar to the current Unreal Engine shading model
No,
cost about
dog.
the same.
I don't know which
But
outfit
now,
to do
artists
now.
have the freedom to
God
offer more
damn.
complex materials for
Shit.
extremely detailed use cases,
Look
like
at
in
this shit.
cinematics
This is
and
a
in
tech
film.
demo.
So we're going to drive under this fallen tree here, and everything that you've seen up to this point was
I
painstakingly
don't know the
hand-built
dog
by
gonna
the
be hitting these
environment
levels
team.
all the time.
Everything since that fallen tree
this
has been
shit.
built using our brand new experimental
Can't
suite
even run
of
across
procedural content generation.
shit, boy.
Entirely an engine that are flexible, deterministic, and artist-driven. Our guiding principle in building these systems was to empower artists to make tools for artists. So Jacob's going to go ahead and add a procedural assembly to the world. And the cool thing is that it communicates.
Damn. I'm talking about, I
Yeah?
took my cerebral a little bit to connect with. Yeah, they proud of that shit. I'll be proud of that too.
And the
That
cool
shit
thing
was
is that it
crazy.
communicates with other nearby procedural elements in the scene, like the creek bed. So let's say a designer comes by, wants to direct the player to drive to the left. Jacob can simply move the assembly to the right, and everything updates to accommodate that change.
Damn.
Game design is iterative, so let's say the designer comes back, wants to give the player the choice of going left or right again. Jacob can simply move the assembly back over. Now, the artist who created this assembly also added some additional handles that Jacob can use to art direct where rock slides occur. Allows him to customize the piece a little bit more, make it a little easier for the Rivian to drive by. So we started by handcrafting that
Well, I'm
original part of the
not
level
on
to
that
set the
bit.
visuals
This
and art
shit
direction for the
is
entire
fucking
piece,
impressive.
and then built out procedural tools that allowed the team to create a much larger play space much more quickly.
Man.
Now let's see how we can use these procedural tools
Yeah, and this shit
to make
open,
larger
bruh.
sweeping changes to the environment. So Jacob, let's start by removing some of the trees in this area.
This shit be
Absolutely,
open
that's
world
easy
now.
enough, actually.
All right, a little too much. Let's add some trees back in.
Okay.
And let's also add in some cliff formations, give it a little bit more variability. So the procedural systems are all deterministic, as Jacob is experimenting with different sets of input parameters. Once he finds a set that he likes, he can always go back to it and get out exactly the same results. And the procedural systems aren't just placing trees and rocks, but also fog cards, bugs, birds, everything that's needed to bring
Yeah, I
this
see why
environment to
everybody
life.
drop the engine
And everything
now.
that you've seen here works at scale. This environment is 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers.
Whoa.
If we hide all of the procedural elements, we can see that original hand-built area about 200 meters
Wow.
by 200 meters. We believe that there will always be the need for hand-building environments, so we design these procedural systems to be tools for artists that work in
Respect it.
concert with hand-built content.
Respect it.
Both
Got to.
Substrate and the new procedural tools will be available in experimental form in 5.2. And everything you've seen here is running in the Unreal Editor in real time on a developer machine with an Intel 13900K CPU
y'all just don't
and
give a
NVIDIA
fuck about
RTX 4090 GPU.
Anything.
So Jacob, thanks for being here and helping us out
Alright,
today.
boys.
Thank
I'm
you very much,
excited
Nick,
for
for
this.
having me. It's been a pleasure.